In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make PRF with the single spin kit. The difference between the PureSpin double spin and single spin kit is that the single spin kit basically saves you money because it doesn't have the second cylinder. And for some reason, they made this base wide. They made a wider base. So you have to have a different bucket, and Refine will send you a new bucket if you bought the kits earlier before they changed the design. But that's the only difference between the single spin and double spin kit. The single spin kit does not have the second cylinder. I go over the difference between PRP and PRF in another video, but in a nutshell, the PRF releases growth factor slower and the PRP releases it fast. The purists will say that you shouldn't add any anticoagulant when you're making PRF, but I always add a little bit of anticoagulant because I don't want to risk losing the kit. They do cost money, and if everything clots up, you have to waste the kit and open up another one. So I put a little anticoagulant in, and I'll tell you later why it doesn't matter. We also like to use the 20 gauge butterfly. The kit comes with a 19 gauge butterfly, but I like to use the 20 gauge because since we're adding anticoagulant in it, we don't have to worry so much about clotting. If you're not using anticoagulant, use the 19 gauge butterfly that came with the kit. Otherwise, you can use the 20 gauge butterfly, the bevel up, and just try to minimize the trauma. Try to get it on the first stick. That'll help avoid clotting, because any trauma to the platelets will cause it to start clotting. And that's why I like to put a little bit of anticoagulant in there. And you're going to draw slowly. If you draw too fast, too much pressure, negative pressure, is going to cause trauma to the platelets as well, and that'll cause premature clotting. Here's your single spin cylinder. You just need one cylinder for this. You're going to open up the sterile packaging and take off the red cap that's on the cylinder, and just need to unscrew it. And it does have a little valve in there so the blood doesn't spill back out. Take the blood that you drew out and just screw it in. It's a lure lock. You're going to turn it clockwise to screw it in and make sure it's on tightly. And then you can slowly start to inject the blood into the cylinder. Again, do it slowly. And once it stops, don't try to force it. It's going to hold 20 cc's of blood. Once it's full, just unscrew the syringe, and you're going to have 20 cc's of blood in the cylinder. Just wipe off the little excess blood, and then we're going to weigh it. And you're going to weigh this so that you can put the counterbalance in with about the same weight. Your blood cylinder and the counterbalance should be within 3 grams or 0.1 ounce of each other. You can fill the counterbalance with water, and you can withdraw or add water as needed to balance the counterbalance with your blood sample. Here the counterbalance is 2.04 and the sample is 2.1, so it is within 0.1 ounce. Here are the buckets that are going to fit the single spin kit. So this is a different size from the ones that fit the double spin kit because the base is wider. Just make sure the buckets are in, and you close the lid, and then we are going to set the time. So we're going to set the time for 1 minute. We're spinning for 1 minute, and the RPM is going to be 4.2, so 4,200 RPM. So that's the same. Here's the start button. That's the same as the first spin of the double spin kit. After you spin the blood for a minute, the centrifuge is going to open by itself, and here's the sample. You can see that the plasma is separated from the red blood cells. Now notice that the plasma is cloudy because the platelets and white blood cells are suspended within the plasma rather than as a separate layer. This is the PRF. So we can use this. We have to draw it carefully as not to mix it back up as we're withdrawing it. Remember to keep it perfectly vertical and slowly withdraw until you see a little quick flash of red coming up. It's okay if you get some red cells in there. In fact, you probably want a little bit of the red layer so you can get some of those white blood cells that are kind of trapped in the red part of the blood. Now you have the PRF. Now we want to activate the PRF. We can use calcium gluconate or we can use some calcium chloride. They are interchangeable, 10%, and we add about half a cc to 3 cc's of PRF. So in a 3 cc syringe, we had half a cc of calcium gluconate, and then we're going to add the PRF to that 3 cc syringe. You don't want to push that back up because you're going to start activating the whole thing. When you activate this PRF, you're going to cause the platelets to start releasing growth factors, and the whole solution is going to start to coagulate. And that's going to happen pretty quickly, so you want to inject as soon as you combine it with the calcium. Now you can start injecting PRF. You can inject through a 30 gauge or a 27 gauge needle. Now, are you ready for the hack? This is how we are going to get even more PRF out of that single spin kit.